is a common method that private parties to international agreements use to determine the location, the applicable laws, and the methods for resolving any disputes around an agreement. We've touched on this in other videos, but generally the agreement will include clauses to that effect. You'll include some choice of law clause. That is, you'll make the agreement subject to the Convention on the International Sale of Goods or the law of a specific country or whatever. In the absence of that, signatory members of signatory countries, CISG, those would be the default rules. In other situations, it may be, again, subject to dispute or the method at which a party seeks to enforce that agreement, whether it's in a foreign court or a local court. Okay. And then the parties will put a forum selection clause in there. That could be that you choose the foreign jurisdiction to submit it to any judicial arbitration proceeding, or within the U.S. or in some third-party independent body or country for resolution of the issue. So the actual physical location and the body who will adjudicate or determine any disputes on the agreement. And then most commonly, as previously discussed in a prior video, the parties will include an arbitration clause. Okay, they'll put a clause in there that dictates when and at what point any disputes arise, how they'll be submitted to arbitration, who the arbitrator would be, what rules apply. And again, it could be subject again to the New York Convention for the Uniform Enforcement of Arbitral Awards, and the rules or forum selection may also be applicable, or it could be left to the default provisions there under some model body of arbitration procedures that the parties use to make to make the dispute subject to in this process. So anyway, generally this is done through agreement, but default rules do apply based upon who the parties are in the nation. That is, whether they're the nations from which they originate are signatories to any specific agreements with the nation to where the other party originates. But these are important considerations for the enforcement of any disputes arising under a private international agreement.